Then the other innovation, we've been having a challenge of the farmyard manure, the plant tea, the manure tea, and the question has always been, when you're going to apply the farmyard manure and the compost, you need a lot. And what if somebody has a very big piece of land? How much of the compost, how much of the farmyard manure will they need to apply in such big piece of land? So the innovation that we are having now is use of biofertilizers. And since we have lost most of the microbiology, we now make biofertilizers, and we are saying these are substances that contain living microbes, which when applied to seeds, plant surface, or soil, helps in promoting the growth of plants by increasing the supply or availability of essential nutrients to the plant. So these biofertilizers, we have many, but I'm going to talk about basically two. And the first one is what we are calling the liquid biofertilizer. This liquid biofertilizer is made from fresh cow dung. We are using fresh cow dung because we know that in the gut of the cow, there are good bacteria that are helping in the decomposition and breaking down the food to release nutrients that is assimilated into the bloodstream of the cow. So we want to tap this good microbiology to use it in our biofertilizer. Then ash is the other ingredient that we use. Ash is rich in many nutrients. Most of the times here in Africa, after cooking, people see ash as a waste. But we are now saying ash has a lot of nutrients, and we are including it in our biofertilizer. Then we also use milk. Milk has protein, and once protein is broken down, it's rich in nitrogen. Then the molasses, for the microbiology to work, it needs energy, it needs food, and also it needs a house. And the molasses is going to provide energy to the microbiology to now do the fermentation and decomposition to release the nutrients in our liquid biofertilizer. Then we shall use yeast. So this yeast is also going to support in fermentation. So to make this biofertilizer, you need an airtight container. And for me, I normally say this is plant wine. The same process that we use to make wine that we consume is the same process that we use when we are making the liquid biofertilizer. Like we normally say, wine is good for our health. It supports in digestion. Once you take a glass of wine, you're good. So the same thing, plants also need this liquid biofertilizer that is very rich in nutrients. The beauty with this fertilizer is that you require small quantities to apply on a big area. For example, with these quantities, we can make a liquid biofertilizer of 200 liters. And we shall mix in the ratio of 1 liter to 20 liters of water, which we can now apply as a foliar, or we can drench. So you can see that other than the compost, this one you can use small quantities on a very big piece of land. And the other one is the solid biofertilizer. And the solid biofertilizer, we basically use carbon material, which could be sawdust or coffee husks or rice husks. Any carbon material would work. And we shall require 7 bags for this formula. Then we also use animal manure, not fresh one. We need partially decomposed manure for this biofertilizer. Then we shall need topsoil. And we are adding topsoil because we know that topsoil has microbiology that is going to help us further decompose the materials. Then we have charcoal dust, and this is biochar. Sorry. Okay, sorry about that. I had talked about charcoal, and I said it has high affinity for nutrients, some for microorganisms, but also has high affinity for water. So once we add it to this fertilizer, it has many advantages. Then the molasses or sugar is what the microorganisms are using as energy. Then we talked of ash, which also has nutrients. Then the maize or rice bran is food for the microorganisms. Then the yeast, which will support in the fermentation. So this solid biofertilizer, you also do not need a lot when you're applying in your garden. Since it has microorganisms, we shall inoculate the microorganisms to the soil, which will support in the mobilization and chelation of nutrients, but also it will improve the soil structure, the organic matter, so the soil water holding capacity is going to improve as compared to the compost that is needed in large quantities. So basically, you do this and it will take for 15 days. Once you mix the materials, after 3 days, it will generate a lot of heat. Then you begin turning it from the 4th day for the next 6 days. Then you turn it once for the next 6 days and it will be ready. When you look at compost, it might take between 2 months to 3 months before everything decomposes to have compost.